I'm Mike Falk. I'm actually at Children's National Medical Center. That's okay, don't worry about it. The folks who sent all the information on how to build the model are at Cornell Weiler. And we've been using this model for over 10 years now for what's called Base Camp, where we train PEM fellows every year. It's really nice because one of the things, I mean, I've been doing simulations since 2009. One of the things you find with any of the Cric trainers out there is they're not that realistic. They don't feel realistic. It feels like you're cutting through plastic, and they're incredibly expensive. To buy a trauma man costs $50,000, so it's not cheap. And buying trauma child costs you $40,000, and then you have to buy replacement parts for them too. So a friend of mine who was at Kings County actually was the first person who introduced me to this. I actually do have a conflict of interest. It just started. I do consulting for a virtual reality tech company. So this is really long, but I'll be really quick. The key thing for doing this model is you're basically taking a sheet of pig skin, an actual pig trachea, and you're holding them on top of it, and then you're cutting through it. So it actually feels like you're cutting through flesh and doing a cric. I'll say this, I'd done this about 300 times and was in Haiti after the earthquake and got to do my first actual real cric. And did it in 15 seconds courtesy of this model. And the model was actually really good prep for doing this on a human. Didn't bleed as much, but it was really good. So these are basically your component parts. You just need some of the coppers, the pegboard, you need a tubing hanger, and then you just need a couple of washers and screws that you're going to put together. Pretty standard stuff. Then wire, what we use is the wire that you're going to put on your pegboard, and that's going to secure the trachea in place. So you take the tubing holder there, you run it down either side, you have a little butterfly with a screw that holds that in place. That's what's going to hold your skin over top. And that's, you put the trachea on the board, and you'll see this all when we do this. There's a loop of wire, you just tie that on the back, holds the trachea in place. You put the skin over top, and then you just secure those brass hangers. This is incredibly easy to do. That's what it looks like using saran wrap and stuff, but we'll do it with actual real pig stuff. And that's a picture from one of our helpers at Base Camp. That's what it looks like at the end product when you have a pig trachea locked in place. There's an I'm going through this fast because Kevin and Tim Clapper, who put together this board, actually put together a huge handout on how to do this. Tim Clapper is very obsessive compulsive, but he's a great guy. What was I going to say with this? The only problem is you got to find a meat packer that's going to sell you this stuff. My supplier just increased their cost of the pig trachea because they realized that they can make money off of this. Historically, what they do is they just throw all this stuff out. Right? They throw out tracheas, they throw out bones, they throw all this stuff out. They don't use it. They don't use it for anything. So, and when they slaughter the pig, it's with a bolt gun basically, or through the back of the head, so the trachea actually remains intact. I used to get it for $5 a trachea. It's now $25. I'm sure, depending on where you are, you can just call around and find a big meat supplier and probably get it for a lot less. It actually winds up being great. We would get like 200 pig tracheas for Base Camp, and the fellows all got to do about 10 different crics. So it actually winds up being very cost effective if you're doing advanced airway.
And depending on where you are, you may be able to do something other than pig trachea.
Yeah.
Well, we do pig trachea where we are because we have a lot of beer.
Yeah, when I was in New York, you could not.
No, actually Louisiana.
You could, when I was in New York, you couldn't find any meat packers in the city anymore. There are halal butchers, and you could actually get goat trachea. So I mean, it's just. It's a great point. Wherever you are, you can find whatever is good. The nice thing about the pig is one of the best organic models for a human you can find. That's why they use them for surgery and doing transplant research and stuff. Despite what we'd like to think about ourselves, we're pretty closely related to them.